This is the case of Julia Belliard and Mary Perry. If you want to know more about this case, please continue watching.
You are watching Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV.
In the last clip, I believe I pronounced the first name wrong. Her name is Marie Pierre, and her daughter's name is Julie Billiard. But for the sake of this story, I'm just going to call them Thing 1 and Thing 2, because I'm not going to keep saying these two pieces of trash's name. But their 5 children, or the mother, Julie here, Thing 2, her 5 children were left alone when their mother, she's 30, she had to go to work. So she went to work and left her kids with her mother, who is 55-year-old Marie Pierre, which is Thing 1. So Thing 2 had to go to work, so she left the kids with Thing 1, which is her mother. And after Thing 2 completed her shift, she called her mother, Thing 1, to pick her up. And Thing 1 left a 9-year-old with a cell phone in case of an emergency to call while she went to pick up their mother, Thing 2. And it is said a 3-year-old picked up a knife, and the 4-year-old, which is his sibling or her sibling, grabbed the knife away from the 3-year-old and threw it across the room. That is when the knife bounced off of the TV stand and struck the 9-year-old in the back of the head, leaving the 9-year-old with a 1-inch gash in his head. And the child tried calling the mom and grandmother, but got no answer. Now, this is my question. What were they doing that at least one of them could not answer this child's call? Because remember, Thing 1 gave the 9-year-old a cell phone just in case of an emergency. So why would you leave this child with a cell phone when, if and when the child did call, you didn't pick it up to see what the child wanted? And that is where, well, my first thing is, you went wrong when you left these kids alone, unsupervised by an adult, and you left them home to go pick up your daughter, Thing 2. And my question is, how many times have you done this? Because this does not seem like a one-off type of deal. I feel like you've done this before, and like the last story, you got so comfortable doing it so you felt like you could do it again. Now, as I said, the knife bounced off the TV stand and struck the 9-year-old boy in the back of the head, leaving him with a 1-inch gash cut. Now, the child tried calling the mom and grandmother, but got no answer. Then tried to call 911, but instead he dialed 991. The neighbor, Kristen Posteri, I think that's her name. I can't pronounce it, but I'll try to remember to put it in the description box down below. And her mother were home watching TV, and the boy, the 9-year-old, he walked in and basically said that, his brother's head was bleeding, and posterity told the authorities, it was, basically scary because blood was everywhere. But her and her mom managed to wrap the boy's head and call the police. And the police said the home was in bad conditions, and basically they were living in deplorable conditions. But I guess, seeing as, I don't think the kids lived in the home with the grandmother, and neither did the mother. I think they lived in a different home, but they did not specify if this was the case in the article. But the police said that the home was in deplorable conditions, and the children looked very unkempt and unclean. And you know what's really strange about this? The neighbor even said that, like I said, her and her mom were watching TV. And I think either she said that the 9-year old or the 3-year old basically knocked on the door a couple of times and basically just walked in. So I'm thinking that maybe he has seen this lady when they've been outside playing or what have you, or even, coming to and from wherever they, would go, like the grocery store or whatever. So I'm pretty sure he knew, or hopefully he knew, who those two women were. Either way, I'm glad they were able to help him. But my thing is, if you are supposed to be, caring for these kids, why didn't you just pack them up in the car with you and take them with you to go pick up your child or whatever, instead of leaving them home? But like I had said before, I feel like this is not a one-off type of thing. I feel like these people had gotten accustomed to leaving these children home alone for extensive periods of time without letting, some neighbor or something know and to watch out for them, which I'm pretty sure the neighbors that they had ran to would have even said, we'll keep an eye on them while you're, going to pick up their mother. I'm pretty sure that would have been okay, rather than just leaving them unsupervised. And even if you didn't trust the neighbor next door, you could have called another relative to say, hey, can you come sit with the kids? I have to go pick up, thing two from work. Or even, can you go pick up thing two from work, because I'm here with the kids and I don't want to leave them alone, or I don't have enough room in my car to put them all in safely. So can you go pick her up, or at least come watch the kids? Somebody would have been willing to work out a routine for you to be able to do this. And even if not, she could have taken, the bus home. She could have, taken the Uber home, a Lyft home. She could have asked a coworker to drop her off halfway there. I mean, there are so many different options that she could have done. There is no excuse for them leaving these kids home alone for this amount of time for something like this to happen. But luckily, the 9-year-old's wounds were not fatal, and he's okay. And they have been, I think, placed in the care of CPS or a family member. I want to say they've been placed in the care of CPS, though. And I just, wonder what is going to be these two's excuse of why they couldn't do one of the two options or many options besides leaving these kids home by themselves with a cell phone, which this child was instructed to use and did, but they did not answer. I wonder what their excuse is going to be for this one. I've always said that just because people can have children does not mean that they should. And this is yet another prime example of what I mean. Just because you can have children does not mean that you should. And just because you can give them life, or just because you can bring them into this world, does not mean that you should be a parent or that you should be called a mother. Because this is two examples of not only the mother failing the children, but the grandmother failing the children as well. And they did that together. But if you guys like this video, please don't forget to leave me a like. Don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, I'll see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.